Yo, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to this week's episode of Walking 90. It's been a long time since we did one of those. It's been what, over a month since our last episode?
Yeah, it's been like a month.
Yeah. Sorry, folks.
Well, okay, to be fair, we do have a record. No, we did a interview
Yeah,
right before the Henny Derby.
yeah.
That just hasn't been uploaded because Abby's computer's been a mess.
It's just like the show, y'all. We're so sorry. Luckily, y'all had some other League One sources out there that's, you know, done some amazing work. Like what? League One on the Rocks. They really stepped up this year. They've done a lot more coverage.
Yeah.
They're doing good work. League One Updater does some good stuff. League One Under the Sea. So you got other people outside of us just to check out the league and check out their work. We're glad to get back to it. It's been a busy month of June. Life, getting new jobs, taking some time off. It's been
Recovering.
yeah, yeah. It's been a little busy. One of our co-hosts probably won't be on the show with us for the rest of the month as she's going to the World Cup. So have fun with that, Eb.
Yeah.
But yeah, Chip's not here either. He's with his in-laws, being a good son-in-law, and Brandon is somewhere.
Yeah, we don't fully know.
We know he's alive, but we just don't
Yeah.
know where. Probably with his kid. I think between like the five of us on this show, like there's four kids, and two of them are yours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I probably have the most consistent. I probably now have the most consistent schedule out of the four of us.
Probably do. I imagine Brandon running around with like his hair on fire dealing with his kids, and I imagine Chip like treating his child like a Pokemon, like just go.
Meanwhile, Sterling is just I can at least just let Sterling be. He took us to the dentist. I didn't have to, he just sat there, he held a pillow and he watched. They have the TV on the screen at the dentist.
Yeah.
So he was just able to watch whatever he wanted. So I just sat there. I was like, oh, this is easy. Now I see why my parents constantly wanted to take me to appointments. They get out of work and they can just sit and chill for like an hour. This is pretty nice.
Yeah. Well, that's the perfect segue because there's a lot that happened in the league, and there's two coaches who's going to be sitting on the couch for the foreseeable future. So, Central Valley Fuego has let go of Martin Vasquez, and Chattanooga Red Wolves, aka East Ridge, as some fans want to call them, has decided to part ways with their head coach. Honestly, I can't remember his name right now.
Ziggy, I can't say his last name. I struggle with it.
You won't let the lead that long, so I think what we were talking about ahead of time, I think that would be a great conversation to have here. We kind of went through the rosters and kind of was just like, what team you take, and that's very opinion. So we'll talk about that later. But right now, let's just talk about it. Both teams hold up at the bottom of the table. Chattanooga Red Wolves having the quickest head coaching firing in USL League One history after 12 weeks. Kyle, what do you think led to this, dude?
I mean, the team just wasn't good.
Yeah.
And
that's the answer, everybody. Have a good night.
It's just they weren't good. They can't defend. It's just a team that lost a lot of talent and they did not do a good job at replacing it. I think that's like the short and simple. And I've been saying when you bring in a head coach as late as they did, it's really hard to try and bring in your style and bring in your ideas because half the players that you probably want are already signed to different teams. Right. So and between starting late, losing all that talent, and and the talent that they do have just not doing well, I mean, it's hard to kind of see any positives or really look and be like, okay, at least if they can just build around this particular person, they'll be okay. And we'll talk about it because it's even worse with Fuego. But at least with Chattanooga, it's like they just need a hard reset and to get their guy sooner, which I'm shocked they didn't do that, considering they knew they pretty much knew they weren't going to bring Jimmy Obleda back. So why they took so long to get a new coach? They probably should have at least been hiring and interviewing and looking for someone the whole time that investigation and leave was happening.
I mean, I also kind of just felt as if like Chattanooga was just like, We could just bring in someone. I mean, they brought in a guy from Nisa, who I don't think was relative all that successful in Nisa.
He was okay at best.
Yeah. So I mean, to come up to USL League One, I mean, look, I know there's some people that think Nisa's better than USL League One, vice versa. I'm not in that whole debate, but I don't think any coach can be successful coming in the point that he came in and fundamentally changing the stylist, changing that team. Like
Yeah.
Jimmy O'Blader teams, we know them. They were notoriously tough, physical. Like I think they were a team that cared more about how many fouls we can rack up versus how many goals we can score, and they can score some goals. And this Ziggy team, man, the only thing tactically I can tell you that they were like it seemed like a lot of ISO ball. Like a lot of you win your individual battles and you worry about what you're doing. Don't worry about what the next person's doing. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I think that was like the one thing, because when they beat Ford Madison, it was very much get the ball on the right, let that winger or attacker take on the Ford Madison left wing back and left center back and win that battle. And that was pretty much like their whole game plan, and it worked. But that was kind of it. They didn't really have any cohesive play. I know Ziggy supposedly was more of someone that wanted to be more possession, kind of be more tiki-taka, which also doesn't work that well in USL League One unless you have the players unless the players have the physical capability of doing it. So to try and play this tiki-taka, short passing, like possession base, it's really hard to pull off when you don't have, that attacking threat and you don't have the steal in the midfield to win the ball back as soon as you lose it.
Yeah, that hurts them there. So there's a slight rumor going around that Ballard Soccer Club head coach is in the forerunning for the Chattanooga Red Wolves job. So that'll be a nice step up for him there and see how they do. And right now, I think Fuego is keeping it in-house with Adam Smith, correct?
Yes, they're having Adam Smith take over head coach and technical director for the remainder of the season.
Yeah, so if you want to know more about this hiring and everything like this, I advise you go check out check out the El Fuego pod, all the good work they do there. But then also the El Fuego pod just did a podcast with League One on the Rocks, and they went more in depth with it there. So go check them out. Tell them we sent y'all.
But he just sent a text. She said, "I'm landing in Denver. I can hop on once I get to my gate. I'm delayed anyway."
Hell no. Hell no. Hell no. Look, as much as I love Ebony background, this kind of sucks a lot. Like, there was a moment when she was recording this show in a bar, and I was like, "Are you bartending and doing the show? Like, what are we doing, sorry?" Ebony's a great person. I love her, but her background choices suck sometimes. And it's like, all right.
I can just imagine, like, in the background, just her, like, casually walking to her gate, and then, like, the gate changes last second, and then she has to, like, haul ass.
Oh, God. Yeah, that would not be good. So we usually don't talk championship on here, but we're going to talk about it today because Tampa Bay Rowdies head coach Neil Collins, he goes on and move to Barnsley FC. Honestly, I'm not going to lie. I'm shocked that I believe that USL League One side is coming looking this way. And Neil Collins, granted, he's one of the best coaches in America right now. I know some people would not want to think that of a USL championship coach when it comes to MLS, but he's one of the better coaches out there right now.
I mean, he's pretty much built a winner in Tampa Bay. Since he's taken over, Tampa Bay has consistently either been in the Eastern Conference Final or been in the championship match or right there. It's like them and Louisville have been the two teams out of the East that have dominated. So I am surprised that like a League One team over in England is taking this chance. I figured maybe it would have gone to like a League Two or even MLS, something like that. But the fact that it is like a team that has like ambitious goals, it's pretty impressive. Like, it's pretty cool to see, that coaching move potentially happen in a league where, most of the time if coaches leave, they're just going back and forth within the league or dropping down to League One or maybe going up to MLS. So the fact that they have someone from USL Championship is, I am shocked. And I mean, he was, never mind. I was like, did he play for them as well? I didn't know if he had played for them in the past or not, but
he might have.
No, not for Barnsley, at least.
Okay. The only thing I don't like about it is like he doesn't get to finish the story with Tampa Bay. Like, go out on that high. But I mean, take the opportunity when it comes. You never know when.
Oh yeah, if you get the opportunity to do this kind of coaching, then you have to take it. And I think they had just missed out on promotion out of League One as well. So this is probably going to be a team that is going to expect a lot from him as well. I think, they lost in the playoff, I'm pretty sure. So, the expectations are going to be high. So, I mean, good on him. Best of luck.
Yeah, most definitely.
Maybe this means Harks goes down to Tampa.
Yeah. So let's go ahead. I want to ask you this, man, about that. Like top 3 coaches, real quick, in USL League One that you think can be on the move soon, in a positive way, not getting fired.
Yeah, if they wanted to leave. So if I was Tampa and I looked at USL League One coaches, who would I? I would Schwabsky, Harks. I'm going back and forth between Iman Zaid and Bradford. Like if I was looking, I don't know. I'd probably.
So okay, are we talking about this now? Like trying to fill the Tampa Bay role? If you're looking for USL League One,
I was thinking if I was Tampa Bay and I was looking at League One coaches to bring in. If in general, I'd still say Harks and Schwatsky are still 1 and 2. However order you want to put them.
Okay, so if we talk about Tampa, we talk about the team at top of the East with a sizable budget that's probably closely going to give their coach 90% power, right? So I take Bradford out. This is just me. I take Bradford out. I take Harks out. I take Sawatsky out.
Really?
Because I think those 3 coaches probably have the most control at their clubs.
Oh, I'm just saying, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, if this was just I had to pick 3 and just say go ask to see if they're interested. Those are the 3. Like, those are the 3 that you would pick. Realistic options? I can only see I don't see any realistic. Maybe Zayed. Iman Zayed is like the only one that maybe.
I think there's 2. Glazer, I think is 1. Think about it. Now, 1, I don't know how much control he has at Madison, but you tell him, okay, the Tampa Bay job is open. You can come in there, take a Tampa Bay team that's at the top of the East. Well, I think they're 4th in the East, like one of the top teams in USL League One. And you can take that team and ride. I think he might look at it.
Oh yeah, no. Everyone should at least look at it because you're looking at a Tampa Bay team that is tied for first on points.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I think Zion might be harder, but I think if Tampa's looking for USL League One, I think Matt is the number 1. Because you gotta think like you gotta
if J Mims was still there, I would have said J Mims.
Honestly,
if he was still there,
Jay might be the number 1. If you're looking at League One coaches, like Jay.
What about Charlotte's coach?
Unless it's Charleston, I don't think.
Right, like that's the tough part. Like, there's not that many because if you look at the coaches in League One, it's like, yeah, you mentioned, Harks and Schwatsky already have like their own power.
Yeah, and the only team I can see coming for Sawatsky is Spokane.
Okay,
just to pull on the heartstrings of coming back to Washington, being close to the Seattle area. That's the only one I can see that happening.
But otherwise, it's like, Bradford probably would be more a younger team that he could work with to develop. Then you got coaches that have not shown enough. That's not to say they can't do it. I just like Knoxville's coach, Sam Stockley over at Lexington, Dominic over at Omaha. It's like they haven't shown enough to justify, taking over this type of job. And then you got Chattanooga and Fuego don't have a coach. And then you have Cameron over at Tormenta, who, again, would he really want to leave? If he didn't leave, he didn't leave this past summer.
I forgot about Tormenta.
But he didn't even leave this last summer. He was rumored for the El Paso job.
Yeah, but you look at how
and that's when his stock was highest.
But how is El Paso right now?
I mean, they're second in the West.
Okay.
I'm just saying, if Cameron didn't leave for El Paso this past winter, when he could have just walked away and everyone at Tormenta would have been like, yeah, we get it. Best of luck.
I mean, they already did. They already said that. That was one thing. Honestly, I don't know how I didn't think about Cameron. Yeah, Tormenta, you can sell that to him and be like, hey, look, you don't have to uproot your whole family. Like, you don't have to uproot your whole family. You can commute. It's probably 6 hours? I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it's a farther drive from Statesboro to.
I'm about to look at it right now because this is
like a 6-hour flight, maybe. You're gonna have that layover in Atlanta.
Let's see, Tampa. Let's see how far it takes to get from. I was really about to type in Tormenta, Statesboro. I had to remember where they were at. All right, let's see.
Also, trying to manage this thread.
Oh, yeah, 5.5, 6 hours. So I was right.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's 6. It's like 6.
Oh wow, I would have expected a much farther drive.
Nah. Statesboro is like that. I'm not gonna say it's on the coast of Georgia, but it's like close to Savannah.
But still, I also think driving through Texas is boring as fuck.
I mean, yeah.
He's gonna be bored. He better have some podcasts ready.
Yeah, but yeah, you can sell it to Cameron. Yeah, you can sell that to Cameron because I don't know. Maybe things with El Paso is just like we're not gonna give you a lot of control. I don't know how much control he has there in Statesboro, but
I mean, I'm sure he has control to the best of their abilities because I mean, Tormenta is still very well ran, but it's not like they're throwing cash out left, right, and center.
Yeah, but if you Tampa, there's 3. Yeah, so all right, so we got 3. I'm assuming we agree on Mims.
Yeah,
Cameron. Did we agree on?
I think we can agree on Cameron.
Okay, a Glazer.
I'd rather do Zion than Glazer, but
see, I think either Iman because I think Iman stays at NoCo.
Yeah,
or the Chattanooga job. Like, if you're Chattanooga, there's no reason why I'm not on a flight after I fire Ziggy.
Okay, wait.
Like, come home.
Yeah,
save the squad. There's no.
I mean, that's a good point. That's a good point.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I was calling for it last year. Like, Chattanooga, you need a head coach. Go get Iman. Bring him home. And tell him you got control. Take this roster.
Also, no. Statesboro to Tampa is like 5.5. Statesboro to El Paso.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, you said El Paso. I thought you were still on El Paso because I was
no. I was saying to Tampa. Yeah,
like that's a fucking long drive through Texas.
Okay, Tampa. That's not bad. Yeah, he probably uproot your family in the middle of the year. You come to Tampa, your kids can stay in school. You can go visit them.
I mean, it's summer vacation right now, so they're fine.
Exactly. I don't know if you want to do Florida education, but that's different for a different day.
No, they should just stay. They should just stay.
Yeah. So my fault. We were kind of rambling there. Moving on. Players of the month nominees. We got Atis Diouf, Billy King, Liam McKinnon, Grant McGoughlin, and Emiliano Terzaghi. Knowing the league, they're probably going to give it to McKinnon. But I'm to be real with you, it's probably it's either Terzaghi or uh Diouf, who I would give it
I
to.
was gonna say, knowing the league, it could be McKinnon. I see it McLaughlin or Terzaghi. I think Stephen Page should have been nominated
Yeah,
instead
honestly,
of Billy King. And that's
too.
I don't care if someone wants to say it's biased, but when a defender gets 2 goals and 2 assists in a month, and that team won 4 matches in a month, normally
Yeah,
that would justify a spot.
yeah, that would. Like what we said before the show, he was like, "Oh, he's a real
He's
defender.
actually defending. Like, what the fuck? No, we can't have
Can't
that.
do that. Can't give him that
Absolutely
award." No, I can't do that. Real quick, previous week's matches. We got Madison versus Tormenta. That was a 1-0 win on the 28th. NCFC beat Charlotte 2-0 on the 30th. As far as the games on July 1st happened, Greenville beat Madison with a controversial PK, as they would like to say. Richmond had 2 PKs, but Chattanooga decided to defend stupidly in those games. And then Union Omaha hung on to beat Fuego 1-0, we think. That's because there was no
technical
video.
difficulties.
Yeah, there was no way how to watch the first half. And then if you wanted to watch it locally, you had to log in with Fuego's zip code. It was weird. Also, did you hear the announcements for this game? Like, did you get a chance to watch it? Because they did
No.
broadcast like the second half. So they broadcast.
I gave up trying to bother. I was already in a sour mood that Madison lost, and I was like, the last thing I wanted to do. And then when Omaha's match was, he couldn't even watch. I was like, okay, fuck it, I'm not going to bother.
So they did. So ESPN just took the local rights from like the CW channel, and apparently, I'm just finding this out. Fuego has their own 2 announcers. I don't know who these men are.
That I remember that from last year.
But these 2 guys, I need them to do more games. They are absolutely hilarious. Like, not everything they said was like a pure joke. And it was just, you can tell these are 2 guys that are used to calling wrestling.
Mm.
And they were calling the game like it was a wrestling match. Like, oh, he dived, but he got up.
Maybe that's the key for Fuego. To stop, that's what ownership should keep doing. Continue pushing those 2 and at least give the fans something to look forward to.
Yeah, give me something.
No, because I think Fuego and NCFC are like the 2 teams that have like their own crew. Yeah. I'm pretty sure.
Greenville kind of sort of with Ross.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was funny. On the second, you had Tormenta's RGs in Lexington 5-1. Yeah, that game was weird.
Yeah.
And then on the fourth game that was delayed by a while, they kick off here too, I think.
It kicked off like close to 9 or 10 p.m. in Wisconsin.
Yeah, I think
it was pretty late.
Close to 11. You had Nocos 3-2 comeback over Charlotte. I went to sleep with this game when it was 2-0. Woke up 3-2. Was like, wait, what?
I went to bed. It was 1-2, and I was like, okay,
all right. With Charlotte, to be honest with you, man, they've had 2 complete losses this year. Where I'm just like, how?
This is the Charlotte I expected to see this year. That game was the Charlotte I had been expecting. The questionable defending, it doesn't. What the hell are you doing? They get some good attacking going, but a lot of just who the fuck is defending and what the hell are they doing?
Like I go back and look at the Chattanooga game and the game that ended 2-2 with Chattanooga with 9 men.
Oh yeah,
and just like if you're Charlotte, how do you draw this game? And you had the ball in their box before the game ends. And it's just, I'm sitting there, I'm just like, this is bad. And then to lose a game like this, whew.
Honestly, like it was a pretty bad June for Charlotte.
Yeah.
They got the 1 win against Omaha at the beginning, and then they lost 2 other matches. They lost to One Knox 2-0. Then they drew that game against Chattanooga. Then they lost to North Carolina. And this is, I think all of those losses and the draw were on the road.
Yeah.
I think they're also a team. Yeah, they've had 2. They only have 2 wins away.
Yeah. It's weird, man. It's so weird. Like, Charlotte and Madison literally switch spots. It's crazy. But the upcoming games we got this Saturday is we got Chattanooga versus NoCo. One Knox is going to host NCFC. Madison hosts Fuego. Omaha hosts Richmond. And then on the 9th, we got Charlotte hosting Lexington. And then on July 11th, we got One Knox hosting NoCo. So NoCo is starting to catch up in them games in hand. Cal, what's your vibes match of the week, my friend?
I was trying to look at these and see like what I would say Knoxville, North Carolina. I feel like that one's going to be like the most entertaining in a good way because all these other games, it's kind of like I expect NoCo to beat the shit out of Chattanooga. I hope Madison beat the shit out of Fuego. Omaha and Richmond could be interesting. But I think I'm going to go Knoxville, NCFC. I think this is going to be one of those games where Knoxville had a week off. They're right on that cusp of probable playoff team, but also 1 or 2 losses, and they could really go on a downward spiral. We'll see how a team that came up from League 2 handles a full season. And this is probably the point where it's like, do the legs and everything start falling? Like, do they have enough players that have experience in the league to get them through the dog days of summer? I guess is kind of like the main thing. So it's going to be interesting to see them. North Carolina has been, you could argue, one of the best teams in the league. They've done pretty well away as well. So it'll be interesting to see how that matchup goes.
For me,
and last time these two teams played, it was only a 1-0 win for North Carolina. And it was a pretty close one, too.
Yeah. I'll go Charlotte Lexington. I think if Charlotte loses this game, you got Richmond coming up. It's very quickly that Charlotte can be on a downward spiral, and really in like the month of July, outside of the playoffs where they started June as the 1 seed.
Yeah,
like it's very possible it can happen. If you're Charlotte, you might have to start looking at. I know we just talked about the head coach, but you might have to start looking at him and being like, "You better hurry up, dog." I think this is a kind of a good week for Lexington to kind of get back on track. I definitely after the 5-1. It seems like both of these teams need a get right game.
Yeah, this is definitely a get right opportunity. Get right.
It seems like a get right game.
The sake of your season, not like a win or go home, but definitely a can you stop the bleeding?
Yeah, it's definitely that. As far as chaos goes,
this one's easy.
I'm going Chattanooga NoCo, man.
Yep.
The way how Chattanooga's defending, the lack of confidence in that team. This game only goes 1 or 2 ways, and I'm afraid which way it's going to go. It could go the way of Chattanooga goes Super Saiyan and was like, all right, we can do this. Because Chattanooga's been horrible on the road. They've been decent at home. And they can oddly knock off NoCo. NoCo can walk in this game and be like, oh, we got a chance to not only put more points in the board with these games ahead, but also pad this goal differential. Oh, bet. Hey, Trevor, come get this hat trick real quick.
I was gonna say this feels like a trap game.
It does.
This feels like that classic like college football. You're like you have that big. You gotta have like a bigger game, so you're playing
like Vanderbilt versus LSU, and Vanderbilt comes out of nowhere. Just
like you're Wisconsin, and you're playing Illinois, and you got Iowa next week. It's like okay, we got a bigger game to focus on down the road. We're playing Iowa or Purdue. You should win that,
right?
And then that's when you trip and fuck up, especially on the road.
Because who does NoCo? Yeah, because
they played Knoxville Tuesday.
Oh my god!
On the road, so they're just gonna camp out in Tennessee,
and they probably looking at one outside. We got to be ready for that because they got height. They can mess with us.
And then they got Omaha at home that Saturday.
Oh my god!
So they're looking at those 3 games within a week, and they're thinking, okay, this is the easiest one. We can just whatever.
Yeah, no. Oh my god.
This screams trap game.
I'm gonna look at my phone and all I'm gonna see you is like they lost to fucking Illinois. They lost lost to fucking Illinois.
They lost to Vanderbilt. They lost to I'm trying to think of like the Big 12 equivalent. I don't even know. Texas, I guess, at this point.
Yeah, bro. It's just like y'all. Really.
Like they lost to Arizona State.
Like, God,
over here tripping up against UConn.
Oh my God.
Like,
oh yeah.
This feels like Boston College.
Right. Like you just look at it, you're just like, bro, y'all gonna lose this game? Like, all right.
This feels very chaotic. Like Omaha Richmond could get chaotic more in the chippy way, but not in the what the fuck is going on way.
I don't even see you get a chippy. Like it'd probably be like both teams be like, look, we can get this draw and get out of here.
It's in the tiny ass field though, and that's why I'm just like, anytime you play in that tiny ass field, it's a gamble.
Yeah, but I mean, maybe so. That's just funny to me. Don't go goes to Chattanooga and gets beat 3-0. And we just all sitting here like, sleep stupid.
Well, because last year Chattanooga beat, no, that was Charlotte, never mind. I was like, didn't Chattanooga beat NoCo pretty badly at home last year?
No, it was Charlotte, yeah.
No, I think they also
Chattanooga beat Charlotte stupidly, 7-1.
But I think they also beat NoCo pretty badly as well. And I'm gonna look that up.
If they did, bro,
it wasn't as bad as the Charlotte one, but it was definitely.
If they did, I'm about to go put money on this game.
Yeah, they beat NoCo like 4-1 at one point last year.
Hey, I'm about to go put. But see, the last two results were 0-0. Even this year was a 0-0.
I don't know. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, I'm about to go put $20 in this game. I'm going to go put $20 in this game real quick.
Oh man.
Oh my God. This is going to be so stupid.
This is going to be the year. This is going to be the game that. This is the ultimate. What the fuck happened here? We
know what the fuck happened. They got their new manager bounce. And like, all right.
But they had didn't we see last week that new manager bounce does not matter?
I mean
at least for Chattanooga.
Yeah, honestly. That's the funny thing too.
They fired Ziggy and then I think they lost like 5-1.
Yeah. Right afterwards.
That's when McKinnon scored 4 goals. But then he came back and got the 2-2 draw against Charlotte with 9 men.
This league is dumb. And then play Richmond and had 2 of the stupidest fouls in the box you would ever see. Bro, I still do not get
over. They alternate dumb shit, decent shit. So this is the decent. This time they're on decent shit.
Oh my God.
This is a trap game.
This is gonna be so stupid.
Oh man.
This is gonna be so stupid. All right. So we were talking about it earlier. And we're gonna talk about it now. What job would you want? So I took Chattanooga. Kyle, I think you took Fuego, right?
No, I said Fuego's. I said I'd rather take Chattanooga.
Oh,
I'll try and make cases for Fuego.
Oh well,
I could do it.
Tell both of us want Chattanooga. I mean, I guess it's just making a general conversation the way we were talking about it earlier, but it just seems as if Chattanooga is probably the more desirable job with the talent you got there. You still got key pieces like Lombardi,
yeah,
can't say his name. Who else?
Espinoza.
It was someone else I wasn't forgetting. Yeah. Oh, Cardona, Lombardi. Yeah. So you got a few. Like, there's more to work with there, and I think we said I think we said 4 of those guys were at least like they could go into upper tier USL League One teams and either start or be like key bench players. But you look at Fuego's roster, man. It's not too many people I'm taking for this team. Like, I'm gonna look through. So let's see.
We went over. It was kind of like we take them as backups for like just are like Richmond and Madison, but even just like if you were, say, Omaha or Knoxville,
yeah.
are you really taking any of them?
Ant-Man, maybe? I'm looking at I don't even know where Ant-Man is at.
Hurt. Last I heard he was hurt, but I also don't
well,
know. But even then, it's like if you're Omaha, you'd rather
yeah, maybe for one Knox, maybe.
Yeah.
Or you know what, Greenville, honestly.
Greenville,
Or
yeah.
no, take that back. Slash that all together. Tormenta. Tormenta. I'll put it there. As you look at the back line, I don't see anyone I really want.
And the thing is, Chattanooga is just slightly underperforming their XG and everything. Fuegos is full on underperforming.
Yeah.
Like they're 3 goals below their. They've scored 9 goals. Their attack sucks. Maybe if they had like some homegrown striker that could have solved a lot of their issues, but
yeah. And then so like Central Valley's, Fuego's defense. I don't see anyone I particularly want. I mean,
no.
I'm trying to figure out like a backup option. It's hard for me to look at anyone. I'm like, all right, I'll take.
Here's the only argument I can make for Fuego. Why you would rather pick the Fuego, because that is a clean slate. That is you can't get any, like, it is the bottom. You've hit rock bottom.
Yeah, there's more flexibility there.
You just got to go in and just build the roster how you want. They're hitting rock bottom.
All right, you know what? Let's look. Okay, let's make it a little bit more positive because we're
that's what I'm trying to be positive. Like,
no,
it's nowhere to go but up for them.
Well, I'm saying in terms of like if you could take 5 pieces from this team and build around, I think
Chattanooga or Fuego.
Fuego. Let's do Fuego first.
Okay.
All right. So if it's Fuego, I think Cerritos is one, definitely.
Yes. Jose Carrera Garcia, I would say, is another.
Okay. I would take Ramos.
Yep.
Victor Flack. And
Ant-Man.
Yeah. I think those are the 5. I think
either Ant-Man or Dulise.
I'll take Ant-Man over Dulise.
Yeah, that's right. But Dulise is like on the fringe of like, I can at least see your argument. But yeah, you can build around that. At least then you have a pretty solid.
You have a Lexington this year.
Yeah.
Like there's 5 pieces. You take those 5 and you break in a little bit more talent each year.
You build you get a better defense. You get a competent striker, and you can at least do something. Like it's probably not like you can maybe aim for sneaking in the playoffs. You won't be rock bottom.
Yeah.
If you could build it properly around those guys.
Yeah, obviously. All right.
Chattanooga on building around.
I'm taking Carlos.
Yep. Cardona.
Yeah, Cardona and Lombardi.
Yep.
Midfield.
Espinoza.
See, he got Espinoza as attacker on here.
Yeah, I mean, I was just thinking Espinoza in general.
Oh, well, yeah. Okay, my fault. Yeah, Espinoza, Mensa. Yeah, that's 5. That's all I'm taking.
Yeah,
I would take those 5 and be like, all right, we building a team around this.
So then,
who has the stronger 5?
I would lean Chattanooga. Fuegos is very much you would have to build a defense to make it work. If your defense sucks, you're in trouble. At least with Chattanooga, it's like you have a goalie, you have some defenders, you have some midfielders, you have an attack. Like you just got to fill out the other core pieces. Fuego, it's like you have to rebuild your defense. You pretty much have to look at what Fort Madison did and say, okay, completely scrap the defense and start over anew.
Yeah. Fuego, I think the thing there is you can be like, we got the youth. Like, we got Cerritos. He's 22. Yeah. And you can mold him to be, like, honestly, I said this to you. Like, if I'm Richmond, I'm calling Fuego and being like, hey, I'll give you $40K for Cerritos and an international spot. What you want? Like,
Yeah.
take Cerritos and mold them into Emmy 2.0. Like, that's what I would do. Like, just take them and mold them. Like, I think the bigger sell. I think you can sell better with Fuego because I think Fuego's done a poor job of tapping into that
There's also
creator
that.
market. Yeah. And also, I'm pretty sure the league itself want Fuego to do good because with Santa Barbara coming in next year, like you want that to be, you don't want Fuego to automatically fall away to bottom of the league.
Irrelevancy, basically.
Irrelevant, yeah, in year 3. You want them to be good.
I think with Fuego, you can see what Lexington did and have this young group and know, like, it might be rough at the beginning. It might be rough at the beginning of the season, but when you get to May and June, that's when you can start potentially seeing the dividends. You can at least see what North Carolina did and say, okay, this, and like just be upfront and be like, this is going to be a younger team. There are going to be days where they look incredible. There are going to be days that they look terrible. This is a younger team, and that's fine. You can sell, you can make that more appealing than we're going to bring these guys that have league experience and they still are not living up to the expectation.
Yeah, I think honestly, I think that's smart. I think if you're Fuego, I think the best way how to go about doing this correctly, because one, their management hasn't shown the ability to be trusted by a coach. Like we're talking about a team that had a head coach to start, fired him, brought in the intermediate, fired him, and then Martin Vasquez, who should have been fired at the end of last year, stuck around with him, and now are just
now they fired him.
I think if all right, if I was given control of Fuego, this is what I would do, and you tell me whether or not I'm right or wrong. First thing I would do is I would make, let's see, the average age on Fuego right now is, hold on,
it's not that
is 25.5.
Yeah.
I would get that under 2.5 very easily. And like, I would be like, all right, like I think we said you got to rebuild the whole defense. Okay. So my two oldest players are going to be on the defense, but they're not going to be no older than 27, 28. Like,
yeah, I would say no older than 30.
Yeah. I'm not even touching 30. I'm going 27.
No, that's 30 is like the absolute top, and it has to be like
30 can be the goalkeeper. That's it. Like I'm going youth on this field. And I will also be like, okay, we're going to bring in a bunch of ex-youth players from USL championship teams and MLS squads around the California area. Like my whole thing, we are recruiting California and Mexico and Arizona. That's it. That all of our talent is coming from either one of those three places. So bring them in and you build that. Because I think it's easier to do that at Fuego because I think they have wasted a lot of money trying to go older and it hasn't worked out. Where you can bring in youth, it will look a little more easy. I think Chattanooga's ownership has shown the ability to invest. I think just get the proper head coach in. I think you can have a more veteran squad. I think they need.
Well, it's kind of like the Lexington, Knoxville. It's like, do you go with the youth movement or do you go with the bring in experienced players option? Chattanooga should go with the bring in experienced player option just because in that region, it's like you're going to compete. It's really hard to try and compete. You got Chattanooga FC right there in town. You still have Knoxville. You still have Greenville all by you. That's not including, Birmingham, Charleston. Like there's so much other options in your area. While with Central Valley, it's like it's no one else in League One is close to you. Santa Barbara will come next year, but otherwise no one else is close to you.
Yeah.
You have that core. You already have the passion and the fan base. Like you have the history in that area. People want soccer in Fresno to do well.
Yeah.
And then you can still pick off, the Monterey Bay, the Sacramento, the Oakland, or the Orange County, San Diego, start going a little bit further down in Phoenix, Vegas, Mexico. Like you have other areas as well. Yeah. So I think there is that appeal as well as there's not going to be as much competition in that lower tier because your main competition in lower leagues is going to be what? NISA squads?
More than likely, probably.
While with, like I said, with Chattanooga, you're still having to deal with Greenville, Lexington, Knoxville, Tormenta, all in that area, plus a Memphis, Birmingham, Charleston, Louisville. It's going to be tough.
I mean, also, it probably short term is easier. Like, short term, you probably want Chattanooga.
Yeah.
Long term is probably Fuego. Like,
yeah. If you're given 2 years, if you're given a year, you take Chattanooga. If you get at least 2, you would take Fuego.
Yeah, honestly. The thing about Fuego is you just got to gut so much of that roster. Like,
yeah,
that, like you said, that entire back line got to go. Bijev probably got to go. It's so much of that team. You just got to gut. And I mean, this is honestly, I don't think I've ever seen a team get hit harder by losing players than Fuego because they lost Cheney and Hornsby, and you could just tell like they have just not been able to bring in anybody that can compete.
Right. And it was like with Chattanooga, it was they lost a lot of dudes, but they kept some of them, some of the players that were a part of that finalist squad. But but they lost so much, and part of it was like Rafa going to NCFC. Galindras, I guess, is now back in championship again.
Yeah.
Whatever. But even like Carrera Garcia, he goes to Fuego. And like Timmy Mel goes to Mats. Like they had so many guys, but at least they kept some of it. But with Fuego, it was like they lost Cheney, they lost Hornsby. It's like everything.
I mean, he's had a big downfall.
He should be doing better. And that also, I think, is part of like why Fuego is struggling, because this is one of the guys that you really expected to step up and be that guy. And he's shown in very short spurts, but otherwise it's been pretty.
Yeah. I mean, this is just some of the guys Fuego's lost. They lost Cheney, Hornsby, Nathan Smith, Max Shinfield, Jose Villarreal.
Oh yeah.
Like, yeah, you go through, look, you're like, oh, like they lost some good guys, like some key guys. Oh man, that's tough.
Yeah, I mean, Carrera Garcia has only created 6 key passes, which is not good. Just sorry, no, wrong line. 10. He's 10 key passes.
That's not any better,
right? I mean, Ozzy Ramos got 15.
God, that's tough.
Wait, actually, I misread that again. No, it is 6. Sorry, I was looking at Cerritos. Cerritos has 10.
Just stop.
Carrera Garcia is not having a good year. The end.
It was probably like that. And I mean, honestly, if you look at Chattanooga, the funny thing is, Ziggy brought in 2 of his own guys, and I don't think they barely started.
No,
Walter and Malanga. I don't think they barely even started.
Malanga, kind of like both of them they're still kind of up there in minutes, but they're definitely not up. Like Chattanooga's just weird because I feel like they don't know what their best 11 is.
Yeah, but I mean, this is what
it doesn't help that their defense is completely shit. So it's like you're just trying to shuffle everything.
Right. So they lost Jose, they lost Juan Galindras, Rafa Michigan,
Villalobos.
Yeah. I don't know why I suck at reading names tonight. Benton, Hernandez, Navarro, and Jorge P.S.
And whoever their starting keeper was for both of the season last year.
I
forgot. I think it was Tor Saunders.
Yeah. Timmy Mill. Yeah, Timmy Mill left.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
Actually, I'm looking at it. Yeah, Navarro, Villalobos, Mexican, did David Teixeira for a bit, Greg Garcia, Ray Ortiz.
Yeah. Hey, it doesn't look good. I mean, look, I talk about something to one team, and I look more at it, and I'm like, I don't know.
Like, I'm looking at who they had last year and who they kept, and it's like Leafy, Aviles, and Mo Espinoza and Lombardi. Like, they kept those 4.
This is going to be fun. I mean, and also you look at it like average overage roster. Like we're right. Like Chattanooga fits more of that. Old veteran. They have the oldest squad in the league at 26.2.
Yeah,
and with the most foreigners on the team at 15. And I think they're not their roster size. Actually, North Carolina has 35 players. Good God.
Well, yeah, when you consider half their academy, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. My fault.
Yeah, it makes sense they have that many players.
Right. And then Fuego is at 25.5. I said I would lower that age to 24.5 real quick. Like, I might even go. You might be able to convince me to lower this to 23, and I'll be like, okay. Like, we going young.
You might, honestly, yeah, I was going to say 22, 23 might be the sweet spot.
Yeah, we going young. Like, I'm telling Cerritos, like, look, we'll keep you, and we'll make you the face of this roster.
It's going to be, all right, you do it all.
Right.
We'll try our best to build it, but
it's your turn, son.
This is your team.
But honestly, also, what I would tell him, like, if you want to keep Cerritos, which I really like, Fuego, listen to me. If you are smart, you keep this man at all costs.
I mean,
do not let him leave. I would tell him, by the time you turn 24, 25, wherever one comes in 2 years, we will sell you. But you have to stay for 2 years.
Honestly, I would just be like, you're not going anywhere in League One. If a championship, like if Tampa Bay calls, okay, fine. We'll deal. We'll have to deal with that. We'll make a deal with them. If like Louisville or Tampa or I'm trying to think.
It don't matter. It could be Harvard.
No, I'm just saying. I'm saying if it's a top level championship team, like I'm gonna try and get something out of this. Like if Sacramento came, I'd be like, all right, this is the price.
Yeah,
this is what you got to do. Now, yeah, if it's like Hartford and it's like, okay, no, just fucking stay here. Like it's Hartford or Miami or like Vegas. It's like, no, don't fuck around with me. He's better here than going to any of those 3.
Yeah, right. No, I mean, honestly, like
I think USL League One team, I'd be like, no, I'm hanging up the phone.
Oh yeah, automatically.
I don't care what you're offering. I'm hanging up the phone.
Right. I think out of those 10 players we named at the start of this, I think Cerritos probably is the biggest value.
Yes. Cerritos is the one that you give him another year and he can really do something special next year.
Yeah. I think so. I think honestly. How did he do last year? Let me see. By the way, for all those watching on the YouTube, or wherever you're watching, feel free to drop us a question and we'll answer them on the air. Currently
Twitter,
right now,
yeah, Twitter or YouTube, you can ask questions. I don't know how to do that on Threads. Please don't do it on Threads.
Yeah,
I'm still figuring it out.
So, did you hear you can't delete if you made a Thread account, you can't delete it unless you delete your Instagram.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, that's fun.
I mean, all right.
Yeah, like that's fun. Like,
let's see, Cerritos last year at Rio Grande. No, wait,
3 goals and 1 assist, but he played 11, over 1,100 minutes. Oh, my fault. No, that is this year. Sorry.
Yeah, that's this year. Last year,
he has 3 goals and 1 assist. Let's see. Last year,
the second youngest player to debut for El Salvador.
He had 1 goal, 2 assists. It played roughly 1,100 minutes. Yeah, honestly, and he missed a chunk of time.
But that's a young player. Like that's
21. Yeah, honestly, I'm telling you, bro. I'll tell him.
You gotta.
Hey,
I would
look at him in his face and be like, "You saw that run Emmy got for 3 years? You about to get that same run, my guy." Hey, ain't gonna lie. Shout outs to Alex because he's the one who put it in my head about saying he from Bowie, Maryland. Yeah. Come on down to Richmond. Learn from Emmy. Y'all can be best friends.
Oh man.
2 years with Emmy 32. His number on his jersey is actually his real age. All right. Ship him out with his 6 golden boots. Cerritos, it's your turn. You got the legacy.
I was gonna say, isn't there going to be like a team coming in? Like, I know there's the Bobcats. I for some reason thought there was going to be like another team coming to the area.
Probably.
Why is Loudon not making? Loudon had this guy and just said, "All right, nah, we're good."
Yeah, that's wild. That's the wild thing about this, man. Like, I was surprised he didn't come through. Even dude, like DC was like, maybe. Maybe
We'll take a look. Well, he's not Loudon. We'll take a look.
Yeah, like I don't know. I'm not saying like he's like a world beater or anything like that, but like still,
he can be. He can be.
The way how I'm building this team out, like, yeah, boy, you can play.
I'm just look. All I'm saying is, if he wants to come to Madison next year, he's free to. I'm not going to say no. If I see that, I'm good.
Either way, he's going to play Richard or Madison the way how we share players.
It'll happen at some point. We'll take him first.
Yeah. So by the way, I know we've been on that for a while. So we'll move on about that. Yeah. There's a lot to break down there.
We've been gone a month.
Yeah. So this is the league table right now as it stands. You got North Carolina 1, NoCo 2, Madison 3, Richmond 4, Charlotte 5, Greenville 6, 1 Knox is 7, Union Omaha 8, South Georgia Tormenta 9, Lexington 10, Chattanooga 11, and holding up the table is Fuego. So Kyle, let me ask you this, my guy. Who's more likely to get the supporter shield or the wooden spoon? Is it Fuego or North Carolina? Who's more likely?
I think it's more likely. I'd say Fuego getting the wooden spoon.
Okay.
Because Fuego's only competition looks to be Chattanooga. North Carolina for the supporter shield, you got NoCo. You got Madison. Richmond's still Richmond's still around. Like I would say right now, North Carolina definitely has the edge, but NoCo's right there. Madison's right there. Richmond's right there. Even Charlotte, if Charlotte can get over this slump period, Charlotte can be right there as well. So there's more teams that can contend for that supporter shield, while for the wooden spoon, it's just Chattanooga. Maybe Lexington if things get worse, but I don't think. Like no, I'll say Fuego getting wooden spoon is more likely.
I'll give it to Chattanooga. If I had to bet, I'll put more stock in North Carolina right now winning the supporter shield.
It's just tough because I'm looking at NoCo and I'm just like,
well, we already got NoCo taking the stupid loss this weekend, so that doesn't help.
I mean, that's fair. That's one game in hand, but they still have another one after that.
For all of you that don't know what we're talking about, go back a little bit earlier in the pod. There's an analogy between NoCo and Illinois that we made, and we're just gonna let you figure that out.
We are sorry for associating NoCo with the likes of a Tennessee, the Oregons.
Hey, you know what this game about to be? I know this knowledge is gonna make you laugh. NoCo and who they play? God,
they're playing Chattanooga. Yeah,
this is about to be Tennessee, South Carolina.
Oh no! Oh no!
Yo, I know. But do you remember my reaction to you when you told me Tennessee beat South Carolina in the score? And I looked at you, I was like, Kyle, are you high?
No.
There ain't no way that happened. It absolutely did.
I'm just saying, this is This is one of those where if Charlotte were to win and this was college football, they'd be storming the field.
Like, bro, oh my god. All right, my fault. Yeah, I take North Carolina, because I think Chattanooga might get the wooden spoon. I think Chattanooga might.
I mean, that's fair. I'm just like, I don't know.
So as far as power rankings go, we're not going to go by the leagues one because we have banned them into the shadow realm. We are going to mess with League One on the rocks. Shouts out to them; they do a good power ranking.
That is a power ranking that there's logic.
Yes, these are people that actually watch the league, so I respect it. So at number one, we got Northern Colorado. 2 is Fort Madison. 3 is North Carolina. 4 is Richmond. 5 is Greenville. 6 is Charlotte. 7 is Union Omaha. 8 is One Knox. 9 is Tormenta. 10 is Lexington. 11 is Fuego. 12 is Chattanooga. The team that had the biggest jump was Richmond. They went from 7th to 4th. And the team with the biggest drop is Charlotte. They went from 2 to 6. So,
I have no major qualms with it. I feel like it's very level-headed. I think it makes sense based off of how these teams have played. Yeah. I don't really can't.
I really want you know about you can flip flop. It wouldn't bother me.
Yeah. I was saying that's one of those where it's kind of like, okay, do you want to be that harsh on Charlotte? Yeah. Which is fair, but that's probably the only one where it's like maybe Knoxville a little higher. Like, and we were saying this before we record, like Knoxville could be in that tier of Omaha, Charlotte, even Richmond, if you wanted to, like Richmond, Greenville. Like, there is that tier where it's like, okay, these are all relatively interchangeable.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly. I think that's a good shout out. Should we do the tiers that we did? I think we should.
We should at least explain the tiers.
All right. So me and Kyle, before we got on, we were just talking and we started talking about tiers, like, well, how would we rank each team and what tier would we put them in? So we based this off of we use the league table, not the power ranking. So
no, I've said I'm not going to let the power rankings gaslight me this year.
So I think the top 2 teams in USL League One, I think we both said was North Carolina and NOCO.
Yeah.
So those teams are in tier though. Those are the 2 best teams in USL League One. I fully believe that all roads go through Raleigh this year. I think that is where your championship game will be at right now. I know some people are kind of in that NOCO boat. I don't think you can go wrong with either one.
It's one of those. Yeah, I feel like it's one of those 2, and then we'll talk about the next tier. But it's like, I feel like other than Madison, it's like I've not seen many teams be able to hang with North Carolina. Has North Carolina played NOCO? I don't think they have.
That's a good question.
That's definitely going to be a vibes game when that happens. No, they have not played, surprisingly.
Oh,
NOCO has not played.
You know what?
NCFC.
Hey, what time is that game?
There's a game on Wednesday, July 26th. That's in Raleigh. The next one is Saturday, August 26th in Raleigh. And then the last one is Saturday, September 23rd. Shit, maybe I'll just fly down to Raleigh that Saturday. Maybe I'll just make a road trip out of it. I don't know. Why not?
Hey, low key. Let's see this. One of these games, if there's still 1-2, we might have to live watch it.
Yeah.
I'm with that. Like, I'm with live watching.
This might have to be a watch along.
Yeah, that might have to be the watch along game for the year. So the team that's in that next tier, what we said this one was like 2.5.
Yeah.
All right.
It was 1.5/2.
Yeah. It's Fort Madison. They're not at the upper echelon, but they're not in the next group, I will put them.
Fort Madison's closer to that top 2 than they are the tier below.
Yeah.
Like they're closer to the tier above than they are the tier below, just because they have looked defensively stout. They have beaten North Carolina twice.
But you still have that stupid loss of the team.
But then they have the stupid losses to Fuego and Chattanooga, where you go, what the hell?
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense. So they're closer to that top tier than they are the next tier. So Fort Madison's its own tier.
And then the next tier, we had Richmond, Charlotte, Greenville. These are all teams that me personally, I believe can host a playoff game. And these are all teams that can be in the playoff. I mean, be on the road in the playoff.
This is the 4-5 like team. This is like the 4-5 area.
Yeah. I will say this.
I'm not Greenville. I'm still Greenville.
I think a team from this group misses the playoffs.
Yeah. No, I can definitely see that.
Yeah.
I will be curious to see how Greenville, because yes, Greenville has been on this unbeaten run, but it isn't as though they've played super tough teams as well. Like they played Chattanooga, they played Omaha twice, they played Tormenta.
Yeah, the last 3 wins are against Fuego, Chattanooga, and Madison.
Yeah, and I mean, like the Fuego one was a last minute winner. The Madison one was a dodgy penalty call. So it's not as though, like, the Chattanooga one, they won convincingly. But, like, those other 2 wins, it's not as though they were, like, in control.
Yeah.
Like, those easily could have been draws.
Which y'all think is a bad spot for,
different.
You look at Richmond. Like, Richmond's been neutral the entire year. Like, they haven't been super bad, but they haven't been super good. Like, there's bad losses against NoCo and Charlotte. There's also good wins in there as well, you know. So I mean, Charlotte's another team. They started off the year like very hot, but now the last 4, they lost 3 out of the last 4. And they have not looked good in those. And honestly, they should have lost. They should have a win against Charlotte. I mean Chattanooga, but they ended up drawing the game 2-2.
If that game had gone 5 minutes longer, they would have lost at Chattanooga.
Right. So, I think those are all teams that kind of in the same direction.
Yeah, I don't know which of those teams is going to miss the playoffs, but yeah, I think one of those 3 will surprisingly miss the playoffs.
Yeah. Then you got the tier that's right below them, which is I put One Knox, Union Omaha, Tormenta.
Yeah.
I will put them in the same box. I think one of these teams will sneak into the playoffs. But
I'd feel more. This is one of those where do you think Tormenta getting healthy is going to make that much of a difference? That's really the question that it comes down to.
Yeah, that's true. My father said Richmond has a 1-2 that you roll. Yeah, that's right.
I don't know. Like I don't know which of those 3 would be more likely to make the playoffs because Knoxville has not been. I mean, they're doing what they need to do, but I feel like
actually right now I would put my faith in Union Omaha. I would put because technically they only have 3 losses. You have 7 draws.
Yeah, but that's 7 draws, and a lot of those draws were self-inflicting. Should have won those games.
But if you can clean up defensively, I can make that push. You can make that push. One Knox, I don't know. My concern with One Knox is there enough firepower to get them in to the playoffs?
Like that's my concern with Omaha, because my concern with Omaha is how much can Noe Mesa really carry this team? Because right now they're pretty much just getting by through Mesa doing everything. And if he goes through a 3 or 4 game goal drought,
yeah, that's true.
Who else is scoring goals for Omaha? But at the same time, if they just clean things up, those draws can become wins.
Yeah,
and they have won 2 in a row now.
Yeah, and Tormenta. I mean, granted, the injuries have been there,
but at the same time,
You got goalkeeping issues. I think the back line is weaker than what it was last year. Outside of, I mean, granted,
They've been really bad at home, weirdly enough.
uh,
Like, they have one win at home.
They've never been a great home team.
No.
They've never been a great home team. I mean, Cassini is back. Sterling is there now, but I still
Jackson Core is doing pretty well this year. So
I don't know who's the creator in this team. Like, I don't know who's supposed to create. I'm having a harder time seeing Tormenta get into the playoffs.
Yeah.
Then, like, I can sell myself a Union Omaha. I can be talked into one knocks. Tormenta, I'm struggling.
I think if I had to, I would say One Knox. If I had to pick one team, I'd go with One Knox because I have the less. They can defensively do enough to get them over the line.
Yeah,
I have too many. I like One Knox has the smallest question mark out of the three.
See, I think it's in your Omaha. I think really, like, if you clean up the defense and be like, okay, we can trade defense. I trust Nuhu to get me in the playoffs. I really think
that's true.
I think if Union Omaha was to take Richmond 2021 playbook and be like Akira stand on your head, Noah Meza, you become Amy. Like, we're gonna get this 6 seed. We're gonna get
probably what they're gonna need to do. And that's the thing. Like, again, if Meza, who's done really well, goes 2-3 games, I'm concerned what the hell Omaha does.
Yeah.
At least I'll say, I'll go with Knoxville just because they are defensively good enough that could just get them over the line.
I mean, yeah, they haven't given up the least amount of goals at 14, but they've also scored the least amount at 16.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard there at that point.
Then we have our next tier, which is just one team.
Yeah, Lexington. They're not going to get into the playoffs because I think defensively, I think they're too weak there. But they'll hold a team in that Richmond, Charlotte, Greenville tier out of the playoffs.
I was going to say they're going to play spoiler. They're going to be a team that you're going to look at the end of the year and see them on the schedule and be like, oh,
because look,
I don't love this.
Right. Let's see.
Like, they have a chance. They really have a chance to cause a lot of annoyance in September and October. Like, September, they play Greenville. They play NoCo. They play Charlotte. They play Madison. In October, they have Greenville and North Carolina. Yeah. They could really be a annoying spoiler team.
Yeah. Honestly, they have 2 games left against Richmond, Charlotte. Richmond, Charlotte, and Greenville. Somebody's going to walk away with that with no points. It is going to be the reason why they're not in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So if you want to get in the playoffs, Richmond, Charlotte, or Greenville,
you better look at Lexington and be like, oh, we should do better.
Right. Win that game, get into the playoffs. Don't lose. Don't lose that game. Matter of fact, let's see. Who are they beaten so far?
Lexington?
Yeah. Tormented. Charlotte. So Charlotte bet that gets swept by Lexington if they want to not miss the playoffs.
They've also beaten Tormenta.
Yeah, see? And
they came close. I'm looking. Yeah.
They came close to beating Madison. Came close.
They're going to be annoying in the best way, in the best compliment possible. Lexington will be annoying.
Yeah, they're going to be Tucson last year.
Yeah,
and just start plucking off teams like, oh yeah, we're going to mess up that schedule. We're going to mess up that schedule.
Lexington's going to be the team that if a team misses the playoffs, they're going to point and be like, we should have beaten them and we didn't, and that is why.
Yeah.
Maybe not in Madison. Like, Madison would be like, oh no, it was the 2 losses to Charlotte and Fuego, to Chattanooga and Fuego back to back. That's what got you short of whatever goal you wanted. But some of these other teams, it's like, no, we should have won that game.
Yeah.
We didn't.
Yeah, that's going to be the reason. And the team in the last tier, what is this, tier
We all know.
6? One, two, three, 4, 5. Yeah, tier 6. So we literally took the table and folded it by half. Chattanooga and Fuego. And I think we've spent maybe 40
We've
minutes
talked a lot about that.
talked a lot about that. I don't think there's much more to be said, but yeah, there's a reason why they're in the bottom tier. Yeah. So I mean, we only got 2 teams in their own tier. That's Madison and Lexington.
Yeah.
Not,
And
not
for
actually,
different reasons. Lexington's just, they're not as bad as the bottom 2.
but they're not as good as the 3 above them.
Right. And Madison is just more, they are closer to that top 2, just need probably just, they're close, but they're not quite there yet.
Yeah. I don't think they have the depth yet to be there either. I don't think they got the depth. Because like NoCo, NoCo and North Carolina. I think NoCo is more superior at home. Like that home is amazing for them. But defensively,
Yeah.
I think North Carolina just comes to depth.
Yeah,
really.
North Carolina can just be like, all right, Louis Perez comes off the bench and
it comes to depth. Like,
why not? Madison is one of those. Madison's best 11 can compete with anyone, but
it's when you start touching that bench. It's like, I don't know. So yeah, Cal. Anything else, man? You think we need to tap on to go over? It's been a while. We haven't done this in a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. Appreciate everyone. We're still working on getting the interview and the drunken live, quote unquote, live recording. I don't know if that's ever going to make its way out in the public. We'll see, but
at this point, it shouldn't.
I might just keep it from. If I ever get a hold of it, I will keep it for myself. The interview I want to get uploaded because I think the interview is still worth.
Yeah, the interview is good. The drunken pod that can be trash for ever.
That might just be maybe if we ever go the route of like a Patreon, that could just be like a Patreon focus.
No, we release that episode the day we do our last ever show. That's when we drop that episode. It'd be like, this is it. This is the end of the show.
This is how it ends.
That first,
otherwise,
son of a.
I was gonna say, otherwise, just check out the work that your local teams and people are doing because they're doing great work. That's kind of the nice thing. 2 years ago, there would not have been much out there, and now almost every team's got something, and like there's multiple leagues, multiple podcasts that cover the league now. So support as much as you can.
Yeah, honestly. No, once again, shout out to League One on the Rocks, League One Under the Sea, El Fuego Pod, Alex, who does League One Updater, Talking Flock, New Dog Among Magazine,
Crane Kicks Lex.
Yeah,
Crane Kick Lex. I can never. It's like a tongue twister on its own.
Losers and what was it? Winners.
Winners and losers.
Woosers and liners, something like that. I know he switched the 2 letters.
They switched it. Yep, and then
trying to think who else is out there.
I'm drawing a blank on Omaha's, and I don't know why.
Oh God, so many Union Omaha ones.
But like the main one, I
know he's. Who gives a hoot? There it is.
I was like, I know it's blatantly obvious, but I cannot.
Of course, River City 93, but that's my own account. But yeah, man, just shout out to all of them. The amazing work they're doing to come to the league. It would be great, like awesome, if every team in USL League One had like a dedicated fan podcast. You could just hear those perspectives, hear those stories. Like we can sit up here, like we tried to today. We try to talk about. Oh, my fault. Also, what's Chattanooga's one? Soccer Chat? Are these
Soccer Chat? And I don't know if the Scruffs. I don't know if Knoxville has one, but the Scruffs the main feed.
I feel like there's one for the Scruffs. I don't know, but like I was saying before,
I feel like we keep asking this every time. It's like, do they have one? If not, what the hell? Why have they not done one?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out. We might have to push that button. But no, like honestly, man, shout out to like all of those guys that cover their teams. It's not easy. Trust me, I know, but like it makes our job a little bit easier when we can listen to those shows and get insight of what's going on in the team, and then we're able to talk about it and be a little bit more informed because they're closer to the subject, and we don't have any national writers at all or anyone talking about this league. So we're kind of doing the heavy lifting of all that stuff. So keep pushing. It's not easy. It's not. Uh, we're not getting paid for this.
I was gonna say 99.9% of us are not getting paid. There might be someone that is, but
I think the only one getting paid is maybe League One Under the Sea, and that's because of protagonists. Oh,
technically,
okay.
Rob Chappell gets paid talking about Ford and
Yeah,
Madison,
but this is
like
day job. That doesn't count.
Right, but that's what I was gonna say. Like that's a technicality.
Yeah. Knoxville Soccer Pod.
Okay.
Okay, cool. And New Dogma magazine because they got a magazine. Y'all got a magazine coming out.
Yeah, release is going to be tomorrow, so I'm excited for it. I can't make the party, unfortunately, but I have seen the stories that are in there. It's going to be pretty good. So
yeah,
if you want one, hit me up or hit up New Dogma.
Those are probably the only two paid people in the league. Everyone else is doing this for free.
Yeah. And New Dogma is paid by people, like it's a paid job. It's not like we're getting paid by the club. That's like people willingly giving money.
Yeah. So that's that, man. But I'm excited for these games. I'm excited for our chat to go off when no go.
I am excited to leave Madison. I'm excited to get home for the Madison match to see the no goal score. I'm just gonna be like, fucking Arizona State.
I'm just gonna tweet a picture of South Carolina beating Tennessee. And there's only gonna be like 5 people that understand that picture.
I can't wait. I'm gonna get home and I'm just gonna look at my phone and be like, what? All right.
I'm gonna need Zaya to do a press game after that game and be like, so what happened today, coach?
We might have to shoot him a DM and be like, all right, buddy. What happened?
He's just gonna hit us with the environment got to us, man. We didn't know how to compete in between the lines. We were looking forward to Bama. We were looking forward to Bama. We just
we're moving on to Knoxville. The playoff committee is going to sit there and be like, "Ooh, that's a bad loss, man." I don't know. I guess we're are we the playoff committee?
USL League would had a play. Like imagine when USL League would had a playoff committee. Like, bro, that loss, I'll be like, yeah, you unbeaten at home, but you lost to them.
Gonna keep you out. You can't lose. You can't be losing. That's an ugly loss. That's a bad loss. Yeah, of course we'll have Omaha. They only had 3 losses. Those were quality losses.
Yeah, they were quality losses. Yeah.
Strength of schedule is going to come into play.
Right.
It's going to be on the bubble. We're just going to have a bubble watch.
Honestly, low-key, we already got a bubble watch between 6 teams. Like between Richmond, Charlie, Greenville, One Knox, UUM, and South Georgia, bro. All 6 of y'all on the bubble. Y'all gotta convince me y'all want to be in the playoffs. Y'all, I'm gonna start grading y'all. Y'all gotta convince me. I'm not convinced yet. Nobody wants to be in the playoffs. Everyone's like,
Yeah, I feel like NOCO, North Carolina, Madison, yeah, we want the playoffs, and everyone else is like, we'll take it.
Yeah, it's there.
Like if no one else will take it, we'll take it.
Right. Oh man, those are kind of the funniest thing that's gonna happen. I'm just still weak at the fact that a Chattanooga wins. They're gonna look at Jimmy.
Gonna be surprised.
Like, hey Jimmy, you want the head coaching job? Like, no, do not do it, Chattanooga. Please do not give this man the head coaching job. Do not. It's gonna be hilarious. Oh man. I think that's our time.
Yeah, I got nothing else.
We started in silly hours. With that being said, folks, as always, we just want to say thank you for taking the time out of your day, for rocking with us, for listening to the show. We've been on a little bit of a hiatus, but we're promised to be back within 2 weeks to update you on all the craziness, all the funniness, of USL League One. For Kyle, for Eb, for Chip, for Brandon. By the way, if you see Brandon, someone check on that man. Make sure he okay. Like I hear from him in the chat. I barely seen him on Twitter. Someone make sure Brandon is okay. Like,
well, if he's on Threads, I'll look to see if he's on Threads. But we're not doing Twitter anymore. It's gonna have to be on Threads.
Yeah, it's gonna have to be on Threads. If you're black, you can follow us. I don't know if we got. Do we have a spill?
No, I don't know how to make a spill for just an account.
Oh yeah.
Look, I'm barely getting through the spill in Threads.
Oh, Gio said Brandon's okay. Okay.
Okay,
So
but what does okay mean? Like, okay can just mean alive.
Is he going to games?
Like, okay just means he's alive, and we know he's alive.
Just going through it with the kids. Oh yeah, well, you imagine. I'm telling you, man. Brandon went to Brandon's house now with the kids. It's about to be fun. Oh, okay. I'm gonna stop this in the show. With that being said, y'all, we just want to say, trying to vacation. That makes sense. With that being said, y'all, we will holler at y'all in 2 weeks. As always, support your local. Enjoy the show. And if you don't know about the NoCo in Illinois joke, go back in the show. Watch that part.
When you see the picture of Tennessee versus South Carolina,
just think NoCo.
If you see that on our feed, on our social media, just listen to this episode. It'll all make sense.
Hey, if that I know this is like that. I'm sorry, I'm trying to end the show. But if NoCo loses to Chattanooga, I'm going to clip the Spencer Ratliff after the game.
I'm gonna drive the Pato and make this bet right now.
All right, y'all. See y'all next week. Bye.